युट्युबमा चाहिँ हेर्दै गर्नु पर्यो यो फर्स्ट टाइम पडकास्ट इज लाइभ भनेर आइरहेको छ यहाँ सुरु भयो नि
त त्यो ऊ नगर प्ले नगर मान्छेहरू आउन नि स्टार्ट गरौँ न
अनि म हेर्दैछु क्या यहाँ यो हाम्रो कति ऊ छ भने ए क्वालिटी त कस्तै आउँदो रहेछ नि त लाइभ देखाइरहेको छ हजुर प्लिज रिड कमेन्ट प्रबुद्धले आइसक्यो म हिरो हुन्छु अनि
5 वाचिङ
रेहानले आइरहेको एकछिन गफसफ हालौँ न
हेलो प्रबुद्ध
देखा न कुरा
स्टार्ट हान्दिउँ
किन आइज नि बस्नु जा
स्टार्ट हान्दिउँ
स्टार्ट त भइरहेको ए ल ल ल रोके कतिजना जम्मा कति 4 जना ए ल आउँदै गर्छ
hello and welcome, this is Ishan. Very Susaja. And welcome to the False Nine podcast. Today we don't have our other member Ojas with us, and so we're the only ones there. And with us, Madhuvinaju is present to for helping us with our guest and other things. And first of all, I think we should see how many people are here. We have an announcement to make. So first of all, we'll wait for a few people, and then we have an announcement to make. So let's wait for a few people. Oh, sorry for being late. There were some technical issues with our podcast, so we were late. And sorry for being late. And since there are 12 people watching now, Susajan, to me आवाज आयो. Can you mute?
Okay.
So the announcement where we were gonna make is that our podcast has a new logo now, and we would like to reveal that to all of you. We've made a new logo since it has been more than a year since we started the podcast, and we started out with a good logo. The logo was made by our friend Aish Pokhrel. And first of all, I would like to thank him for making the previous logo, because that time we were really inexperienced. We didn't know what we were gonna uh, do when starting that podcast. So uh, that time Ayush helped us a lot and created that logo. But now, since it's been more than a year, so we decided to do another create another logo for the long run. So I think I should screen share the logo to all of you guys. So I'm gonna share the screen. uh, so as you can see, this is our new logo now. Let us know in the comment section what your reaction is about this logo. We've decided, and for this logo, I think we should give a huge thanks to Dipesh Sigdel. and he made this logo, and I think this is a really good logo um, for our podcast. And yeah, we've already changed the layout in our YouTube and Hamro Patro. I think the only place remaining are Twitter and our Instagram and Facebook, which we'll do soon. So yeah, uh, this was the announcement. I think so. I think we should just continue with our podcast. And today we were here to preview the Premier League. And first of all, uh, can everyone listen to me? Can everyone listen to the both of us, not only me?
I muted my mic.
Susan's audio has a tinnitus effect with it, so
See,
please excuse that. Yeah, okay, crystal clear hours. Thank you, Sazak. So we're gonna start with our podcast. So today we were planning to do preview the Premier League season, and I think we should start with that. The Premier League starts tomorrow, and last season Liverpool were uh, sadly the champions of sadly the champions of uh, the Premier League last season, and they won it by a big lead. And the second, Manchester City came second, United came third, and Chelsea came fourth, and Bournemouth and Watford and Norwich were relegated. So this season, three more teams have been promoted: Leeds, West Brom, and Leeds, West Brom, and Fulham. So I think we should start with Liverpool, and we have a Liverpool fan. We had two, but now we have one Liverpool fan in our panel. So, Susan, how are you feeling for the about the upcoming season?
I'm hoping that Liverpool would just retain the title, but I'm not quite confident as last season because teams below Liverpool have strengthened a lot in the transfer window. As you can see, Manchester City and Chelsea, even Man United, but Liverpool are failing to do something in the transfer window. So I'm just backing the players that we have, and they have been playing consistently for the last 3 seasons and playing their best. So I think to replicate the same form that they have been playing with in the previous seasons, I think Jurgen Klopp will do a great job like the past 2 seasons, and Liverpool will come out on top. But not so hopeful. But as a Liverpool fan, I have to become one because he has turned this Liverpool side into a mentality monsters, as they say. So I'm quite hopeful about this season. But if we add few more players in the transfer window, like there are few areas to address, like Thiago is being linked with Liverpool, and he is one of the best midfielders across Europe this season. So if Thiago is added in that midfield, the Watfield that we called, I think Liverpool will have a chance and will give a shot at the title.
Yeah, and Liverpool's first fixture tomorrow is with Leeds. So, what are you feeling about that fixture? Since the fixture is against Marcelo Bielsa's Leeds, which are known to play some really good football in the championship. They've played really good football in the championship for the past 2 seasons. So, last season Liverpool won. I think they won 4-0 against the championship champions Norwich, who played a sort of attractive football, but they didn't change their style against Liverpool and lost. So, what do you think is going to happen tomorrow?
Because looking at the record that Liverpool have at Anfield, they haven't lost a game in 3 years. And I know the opposition is really strong and they have just won the championship, but I don't feel like they'll put some fight, but I don't think they'll come out on top at Anfield. I'm not expecting anything a miracle at Anfield from Leeds, but I know they're a great team and they have already signed some really good players from across the world. But in the course of the season, Leeds can do well. I think they'll stay up in the Premier League, but not beating Liverpool. I don't see them beating Liverpool.
Okay, that's a pretty confident answer. So Manchester City came second, but they're not playing. So we'll discuss their team when we discuss the transfer window. So let's go to Manchester United, which are also not playing. So let's go to Chelsea. Chelsea are playing Brighton, Brighton away. In the next round. So, if we have any Chelsea fans in the comment section, let us know how you're feeling. Susan, what do you think about Chelsea's recent? No, no, let's not talk about recruitment because we are going to talk about recruitment later. But what are the chances of Chelsea challenging for a title this season?
Chelsea.
Chelsea.
eh, I think Chelsea will not challenge for the title this season as of now because they have brought some really good players and really young players, but I think they need time to settle in. Lampard has already had his mark on this Chelsea team. Last season we can look how the youngsters performed, and this season they have added the experienced players as well, and some young talents from across the Europe. But I don't think they are ready yet to challenge for the title. But they will obviously finish in the top four.
Yeah, I think so too. I think
The
Chelsea
one thing that
can.
concerns me about Chelsea, one thing that concerns me about Chelsea is one thing that concerns me is consistency that they have shown. They are not so consistent. Winning 5-0,
Yeah,
6-0 in some games and losing to mid-table teams is not what champions do. So I think that needs to be changed if Chelsea are to win the title and have a shot
yeah,
at the title. So
that's true.
yes.
Yeah, I think the recruitment they've done is massive. That shows the club as ambitions, but I think the one thing they failed to address was the center back issue because I think Chelsea conceded almost 53 goals last season, which is bad for a side challenging for the title. And so they needed to solidify their defense, and they've bought Thiago Silva, who has played in the elite level in Europe for a long while now, but I don't think he's in his prime now. I think he's way past his prime. And since Lampard likes to play in a defensive high line, I don't know how Thiago Silva can fare well in that system. So Thiago Silva is a great signing for having a leader inside the dressing room, but I don't think he's the answer to Chelsea's defensive frailties. So yeah, Chelsea can. I think Chelsea compulsorily have to challenge for the top four this season, looking at the way they've recruited. But title challenge is still something really far off for them. I think personally. So I think we should go to other teams. Uh, Tottenham, yeah, Tottenham. Let's talk about Tottenham. I think all of us have watched the Amazon Prime documentary, and we've watched basically the Mourinho show on Amazon, and yeah, that it's a really fun show. But what do you think about Tottenham's chances this season in an actual football pitch?
I think Spurs fans should be hopeful for this season because they're obviously challenging for the top four, and I don't think they are yet ready for the title. But with quality additions like Doherty and Pierre Emil or Weber, I think Spurs can obviously go for the top four because they finished I think sixth this season. I think they finished sixth, so
Yeah, yeah.
they'll obviously give a shot at the top four, but not yet ready for the title. Given the style of football that Mourinho is playing at the moment, I don't think the defense is that much of Tottenham can rely that much on their defense to win them the title. I think it's not yet time for Spurs to think of the title. I think they'll go for either of the Carabao or Europa League or FA Cup. I think they'll be targeting any one of those trophies because Levy has already said that they are targeting for a trophy this season. So it has been the target for Spurs for such a long time, and Pochettino also failed to deliver that. So I think with Mourinho, they brought Mourinho to deliver a title. So they'll give their best in other domestic competitions and Europe. So I don't
Yeah.
think they're ready for the title
More,
yet.
even watching that documentary, you can clearly see that Mourinho is trying to instill a winning mentality in the Spurs players, because you can see him telling them that they're too nice. They don't. They're just very nice with their opponents, and they need to be explicit words against their opponent. So Mourinho says the term a lot of times, as you guys must have seen. So I think what Mourinho is trying to build is a winning team, and if everyone in Tottenham has the winning mentality and a little bit of fight in them, like Eric Dyer or someone else does, I think Tottenham can be a team that can psychologically challenge for trophies this season. Not necessarily the Premier League, but FA Cup, Carabao Cup, and Europa League. Tottenham are in desperate need of trophies because the Audi Cup does not count as a trophy. So, yeah, I think Tottenham this season will challenge for the top four. Yeah. So the next team, let's go to Arsenal. And what do you think about Arsenal season this season? Um, Arsenal season.
I'm hoping that Arsenal will not compete for. I know Arsenal have been playing really well and they have just beat Liverpool two times in two games. But still, I don't think Arsenal are finishing in the top four. They're playing really good football, but David Luiz and co, I can't trust them to finish in the top four. I know they have a quite a stable attack now and they play a quite good brand of football, but I'm not seeing them finishing in the top four. They've had some quality additions as well in defense and in attack as well, and securing Danny Ceballos on loan again. So they have some quality players, and they can mount challenge on top four, but I don't think they're yet ready for the top four. I don't think they're finishing anywhere near top four. They are finishing, I think,
Arsenal,
fifth or
yeah.
sixth.
Yeah, Arsenal, I think Arteta has massively overachieved in his half season at Arsenal, because they were a team that were shambolic defensively, and in attack also they were not that productive. But since Arteta came, he's played with a back five, and then he's used Kieran Tierney and Maitland Niles to create wide overloads on the left, which has defeated teams like Manchester City in the FA Cup semi-final, and Chelsea in the FA Cup final, and Liverpool in the Shield final, which happened 2 weeks ago. Arteta is using the squad he has. He is using it really effectively, and with quality additions, which we'll talk about later, like Gabriel Mangalese and William Saliba returning from loan. I think Arsenal probably have the two best center back prospects from France, which is, I think, really good. And I think Danny Ceballos on loan, and they're also targeting Thomas Partey and Houssem Aouar. So let's see. I think the additions of any of Houssem Aouar or Thomas Partey massively improves Arsenal's midfield. So I don't know. Arteta can surprise us this season because he's capable of it.
And I think Arsenal are also more dependent this season. I think they should be dependent on the form of youngsters like Bukayo Saka and then Sako as well, and Eddie Nketiah is there, Maitland Niles who just featured for England, and Joe Willock. I think these youngsters can prove to be really vital for Arsenal in rotating the squad that Arsenal have.
Okay, so before we continue, let's look at our um, live chat people. Prabhudas says hello. I think we've read it, but Prabhuda, hello. Rian, hello. Everest, hello. And Sazak, Elite Podcast, big fan. Thank you, Sazak. अगाडि ढिलो भयो नि त नोटिफिकेसन नि आएन के हो नोटिफिकेसन आएन त आई डोन्ट नो वाइ नोटिफिकेसन आएन बट ढिलो भयो चाहिँ देयर वर सम टेक्निकल इस्युज एज यु क्यान सी आवर भिडियोज आर ल्यागिङ आई डोन्ट नो वाइ इट वाज स्मुथ ब्याक when we did the Champions League thing, but it's lagging right now. I don't know, maybe because it's Friday evening and all of our internets are slow. Same with us. And Nirav, Arsenal go back for Coco. Arsenal go back for, I think, Bellerin, Saliba.
No, I think Arsenal is playing playing back five. Arsenal go with back five.
No, but I think
Saliba,
after
Gabriel,
adding,
Luis,
oh yeah, that's possible. Yeah,
Saliba,
that's
Gabriel,
possible.
Luis, and Maitland Davies and Maitland Niles, and then we have
Tierney,
Bellerin.
Tierney,
Tierney and Bellerin.
yeah,
Tierney
yeah,
and Bellerin as the wing backs.
yeah,
Saliba, Luis, and
yeah.
Saliba, Luis, and I think okay, uh, Gabriel.
Yeah. So,
That's right.
Susan, can you try removing your earphone once? Maybe that will reduce the noise. I don't know. Yeah,
Okay,
it's
yeah.
no. Uh, it's still the same. Yeah, till Susan fixes his audio, let's go to other things. Ishan Dai lagging. Yeah, I know. Probably the I don't know what's happening with our internets today, but अलि ढिलो भएको पछि नै will be regular from now on. Sorry. Lag भयो sound. नयाँ logo very beautiful. Thank you. Rishabh, hello. New logo looks neat. Logo sexy. Ishan MUFC Twitter comeback needed in a while. Um, took a shower in 5 minutes to tune in for the live. Good work, Rishabh. Uh, logo as handsome as Ishan Dai. Thank you, Prabhuda. Uh, where is Ozas at? Ozas has an exam after I think 2 weeks, so he couldn't be here. We're hoping you will join us in the middle of our podcast, but let's see if he'll join us or not. Susan, oh yeah, he's written it himself. Um Others die Senti because Thiago is not coming. Maybe. Need to yell like Salah after a goal versus United. By how many points will Arsenal win the league this season? Minus 25. Chelsea ra Arsenal go back for Banda Fantasy. I think Chelsea will go for Aspilicueta, Zuma, Thiago Silva, and Chilwell after Chilwell is
Thiago
fit.
Silva is injured. Thiago Silva is injured
Even,
in
yeah, Chilwell is
first
also
game.
injured.
Yeah, Rudiger
So
will
for
take
the
over.
first game, I think yeah, Rudiger, Zuma, no, I think Reece James will play right back, and Zuma, Rudiger, and Aspilicueta at left back because Lampard doesn't trust Alonso that much, and
But I think
when
he'll
he
go with
doesn't,
Alonso against Brighton.
oh yeah,
Against
against
Brighton, I
Brighton that
think
is
he'll go
possible.
with
Yeah, yeah,
Alonso.
yeah, yeah, that is
Not
possible,
sure,
but
not sure.
he might play Aspilicueta at left back too. Sadly the champion. Yes, sadly the champions. Clear biasness from the False Nine podcast. Yes. How can I be a United fan and celebrate Liverpool winning the title? Aryan Tamrakar के छ? Oh, ठिक छ. Aga Susadan Dai clearly very optimistic. Arjun Bielsa ball baby. L. Yeah, Bielsa ball. I don't know how Bielsa ball will fare in the Premier League because yeah, it has to be tested. Uh, 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 सुसन दाईको घरमा यति राति कसैले भ्याक्युम क्लिनर चलाइरहेको रे यहाँ कसले चलाइरहेको एन्ड इसान दाईको भिडियो स्लो मोसनमा आयो who remembers the last time Susan Dai said miracle हुँदैन Oh, Thiago Silva. The audio glitch, we tried to fix it, but I don't think it has been fixed. We'll come with better mics, guys. If you send us money on Iseva, we will buy better mics. I
Isan
see
also
one.
put out Iseva number. People might be interested to donate.
Yeah, yeah. Next time we'll keep our Iseva number, and you guys can donate so that we buy a better mic. Second हो कि third season हो जोजेको. It's just I think 3/4 season हो यो.
First full season.
Yeah, this will be the first full season. And Spurs in the top. A lot of people are saying Spurs are um, gonna get to the top for this season. Let's see. United goals ekdam distributed. He's not a penalty taker, so low chances for Martial. Kind of optimistic with the way the club has been doing business and the mentality of players since Arteta has come. Yeah, Abash, want a little bit of touch on that. Arsenal have recently fired their one of their CEO, Raul Sanilei, and from what I've read, his reputation was someone who would buy players in terms of his connections rather than the qualities. Some of the signings like Pablo Mari and then and even Willian were signed because their agent was, I think his name was Kieran Jurbachan or something, and Raul Sanile had a lot of connections around the agent sector, which the I think the Arsenal board didn't like, so that's why he was fired recently, when Arsenal also fired around 55 of their staff. So I think after that, Raul Sanele's approach, agent-based approach, has changed, and Arteta and Edu, who's the sporting director of Arsenal, and Vinay Venkatesan, who's the other CEO of Arsenal. I think they're the ones who are working to seal the deals now, and I think we can see a clear improvement in that. So yeah, I just knew that, so I I had to mention something. Uh, yeah, I think we should go for another part of our segment. Which team do you think will be the dark horses this season, Susan?
Dark horses. Hmm, I think Manchester United maybe,
Manchester
and
United
then
is not a dark horse. You
you know.
explicit terms. Okay,
My
since
internet connection is
I
being
think I
unstable.
think
Ethan, you can continue.
yeah,
I'll
yeah,
just continue.
yeah. Okay, so I think this season the dark horses. I might be disastrously wrong, but I think the dark horses will be Everton, because because there are some pretty stark differences from the Ronald Koeman transfer window disaster and this transfer window. First of all, the coach was Ronald Koeman. Right now, it's Carlo Ancelotti. There's a huge difference between the two. And the second, I think they've made some really smart signings, because what Everton was lacking last season was the energy from midfield, because they didn't really have the quality in midfield. They had players like Tom Davis and Sigurdsson, who really weren't they were not energetic players. I think the addition of Alan and Abdullah Dukure and James Rodriguez provides the energy from the midfield, and I think because of the, and they're also, I think, loaning in Fikayo Tomori from Chelsea, and that will help Everton. And Carlo Ancelotti as a coach is known for building a team. Building a team according to his players' necessities, not necessarily focusing on the tactics, but building a team according to how the players can play better and get get a maximum output out of them. And James Rodriguez, his best form was under Ancelotti when he was in Real Madrid, and Ancelotti brought him to Bayern when he was in Bayern. So I think he will get the best out of he will get the best out of James Rodriguez too. So I think Everton will be the dark horse this season. Yeah, you start. I'll just do.
Yeah, I didn't want to say Everton. I think Everton and Wolves. Everton and Wolves. Many people are saying that I need to understand the meaning of dark horse, but yeah, I know, guys. I was just kidding with you, saying Manchester United. I think Everton and Wolves also have really upped their game in this transfer window and brought in some really good players. And who was that youngster? Fabian Silva. not Fabian Silva from Porto. He was bought in from Porto. Yeah, I think he'll play as a second striker to Jimenez, and obviously he's the club record transfer. But I saw his stats, and he hasn't played that much senior game. But I think Nuno is himself a Portuguese, and he might know what he brings to the team. So it'll be really interesting to see how Wolves will again do this season, because they have really they beat Manchester City 2 times last season as well. So I think it'll be interesting to see how Wolves will again play this season.
Yeah.
And obviously Everton with the addition of three new midfield in
What
Alan,
do what do you
Rodriguez,
what do you
James,
guys
and then
think?
Doucouré. I think Everton are also uh,
What do you guys can comment your thoughts on who is the dark horse this season? Uh, uh, they paid 35 million for Alex. Yeah, they did pay 35 million for Alex Iwobi, but I think the recruitment this season has been much better. Plus, they have a good coach in Carlo Ancelotti, so that's why. Yeah, but I know how my prediction can go horribly wrong, because I was also one of the people who said Ronald Koeman's Everton will challenge for the top six when he bought all those players back then, and that didn't happen. He got sacked in the middle. So yeah, it's just, and yeah, for everyone again, you guys can join us in the stream itself. We're sending the Zoom link in the chat, and you guys can join us and talk about your team and discuss your thoughts on the Premier League and everything. And before we go into transfers, I think we should touch upon relegations. So, which are the three teams who will get relegated this season, Susazar?
I think Fulham again, and then I'm backing Leeds to stay up, and Fulham. I don't see other teams like what other teams. Everton, Sheffield, Southampton. Southampton are obviously staying up, and Fulham, West Brom, and I think the Premier League teams that are already in the league are stronger. And West Ham is obviously staying. Last time they were challenging. Last time they were in the battle, but this time I don't think West Ham will do that. Mm,
I
I'm
think
unsure about. I think
uh,
Fulham and West Brom. I think Aston
I
Villa
think
also. Aston
yeah,
Villa.
yeah, I think
I think these three: Fulham,
Fulham,
West Brom,
West
and
Brom,
Aston Villa.
and West Ham. My prediction is Fulham, West Ham, and West Brom. So we have two people here who want to talk. First, let me admit Abbas. So Abbas, welcome to our podcast. And by the way, Abbas is also a DJ. You can follow him on Instagram. He produces some great music, so you guys can check him out. Abbas, can you please pause the sorry, mute our stream so that
Yeah, done.
yeah, Abash. So, as an Arsenal fan, how confident are you for the upcoming season?
Uh, I don't know, like a top six finish would be good,
Yeah,
but I'm not going to be too hopeful
yeah, I'll just
about.
admit Arsen. Wait. Yeah, and what do you think about the progress Arteta has made with the specific group of players in this
Mhm.
transfer window? So, Arsen, let Abash finish, and then you can talk.
Yeah, I mean the way he has been handling all the players. Like when he first came to Arsenal, Maitland-Niles was the first choice right back, but then he literally just said, "You need to keep your head down and work hard." So he had to actually build himself up. And he did the same thing with Ozil, who is still not in the squad. And same with Guendouzi,
Yeah,
who Arsenal is trying to offload for a while now.
yeah,
And I'm pretty
yeah,
sure that's not going to happen because no one wants to buy a player with that kind of attitude.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm very impressed with the way Arteta has been actually dealing with the players.
Yeah. So, are you confident that Arsenal will challenge for trophies this season? Any trophy, because you're
FA
in the Europa. Yeah.
F FA Cup is ours
By default.
always by default, and maybe Europa League. I mean, you never know, and these kinds of
Yeah.
things you never know because
Yeah.
we could challenge for the top four. We could
Yeah.
be on the bottom half of the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure FA Cup is ours, but
Yeah.
anything else, I'm not really sure about it.
Yeah. Okay. Abbas, thank you for joining us, and yeah, you guys can check him out on Instagram. He makes some pretty cool music. So yeah, you can comment your Instagram in the live comments so people can see.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Abbas.
Thanks, man.
So, Arzan, since you're a fellow Manchester United fan, how confident are you with our recruitment and our chances for the, I don't know, not title, but top four?
I think it depends on if we get Reguilon, because or like center back Lindelof. I don't really trust Lindelof. He can't win air balls at all. And like
Yeah.
once Shaw's gone, like the drop in quality when we have Brendan, like he's a right-footed left back, which is like why.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, so like the drop in quality when Shaw we like gets
Yeah.
injured is massive. And
Yeah.
I mean I'm like really excited about Van de Beek because he's like a
Yeah.
really good like ball breaker and
Yeah.
like he can carry the
Yeah.
ball. So we have like
Yeah.
two ball carriers in the midfield.
Yeah.
But let's see how our P our Ole and the boys do because like they
Yeah.
like they act overachieved last season
Yeah.
because like without Bruno they would have never made it to top four.
Yeah.
So I mean, good signing Van de
Yeah.
Beek, but
Yeah.
I want to see like one more. Like Regulon would be
Yeah.
decent. I don't think we're getting Sancho. Maybe next season.
Okay. I think we're
But
getting Sancho this season.
how long's the transfer season going? Uh,
October 3rd.
October 3rd.
hey,
October 3rd.
hey, okay. So, okay. Then I don't know. I thought it was gonna
Uh,
end late
yeah,
September.
we were going to talk about Sancho after a while. So I think we will touch on Sancho in that.
Yeah. I'm mostly like I think we'll get top four for sure. No
Yeah.
doubts on that. But
Yeah.
I don't like I want to see how the players like take the challenge of like facing the expectations of actually winning a title now because
Yeah.
they've never like had that expectations like this
Yeah.
whole like group of
Yeah.
players
Yeah.
except
Yeah.
maybe Pogba like
Yeah.
they've never like faced the
Yeah.
expectations. So I just want to see how Ole like grooms the players and like makes them ready to
Into
face
that.
that expectation.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Arjun, for your thoughts. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So I think we should move on to our next segment, which is the transfer window. And I've done a lot of I've put in a lot of effort for this, and I've actually created a PowerPoint presentation for this, the transfer thing. So wait, I'll just share my screen. Uh, Wait, one moment. One moment. Uh, okay, I'll share my screen now. So, is you, Susan, can you see this? Can you see the PowerPoint?
Yes, yes. It is visible.
So, yes, this is today's work. So, yeah, let's start. Yeah, this is with our new logo. So, you guys can admire this thing of beauty first. And I've created a PowerPoint presentation because prime adulting. So let's start with the Bundesliga. And for the Bundesliga, we're going to talk about Bayern and Dortmund only because they're the only relevant teams there, which are worth discussing right now. And so let's start with Bayern. And 2000, these are the arrivals, and
Isan,
these are the, yeah.
aren't we talking about Premier League?
Yeah, no, transfers we touch upon other things, other leagues too.
Yeah, okay.
We're previewing the Premier League, but transfers we can touch upon other things too. So arrivals, we have Leroy Sané, Tanguy Kouassi, and Alexander Nubel. And departing players are Ivan Perisic, whose loan period has expired, and Coutinho, whose loan period has also expired. And I think Leroy Sané is a really great signing for Bayern, which is already so good. And I think Hansi Flick's side will be even better on transitions because of the pace of Leroy Sané. And Tanguy Kouassi, I mentioned him because of how upset Thomas Tuchel was when uh, PSG lost him for free. And that's why he's a really highly rated young center back, and Bayern have bought him, and will obviously looking at Bayern's trend of trusting young players. I think you will get a shot after David Alaba is transitioned out of the team, and Alexander Nubel too. He was talked of as the replacement to Manuel Neuer in Schalke, and he has also his contract also expired, so Bayern got him for free. So I think these are three really quality additions. Bayern are still looking for a left back. In I think they're targeting Dodo from Shakhtar Donetsk, but I don't think I. Let's see if they can get him or not. So yeah, this is Bayern Munich, and Borussia Dortmund. Borussia Dortmund have three main arrivals right now, and they've got Renier Jesus from on loan from Real Madrid, and they've got Jude Bellingham from Birmingham. From Birmingham at 26.5 million euros, and Munier has come from PSG on a free transfer. And departures, Hakimi went back to Real Madrid, and then went to Inter. And I've put a question mark on Sancho because I'm confident United will get him, and I hope United get him. So yeah, that's it. Do you have any thoughts on both Bayern and Dortmund's transfers 2000?
I think Bayern have really done well in cooking Leroy Sané. I think that is a really good coup for Bayern Munich because I am always telling Sancho this and Leroy Sané is. I think in this transfer window where players have gone for so much amount of money, I think one that Bayern paid for Leroy Sané is pretty less
Yeah,
considering his age and what he can do on the pitch. So I think that's a really good coup for Bayern Munich. And
yeah,
they have obviously replaced Robin and Ribery in Gnabry and Sane. So I
yeah,
think Bayern will obviously win the Bundesliga this season, but the Champions League also, I'm pretty sure that Bayern will give a tough fight to Liverpool.
yeah, yeah.
But obviously Liverpool
So
will win the Champions
yeah,
League.
yeah. Even I think Bayern, even when buying only three players and spending 100% of them on Leroy Sané, they've still had a pretty great transfer window. And even if they buy Dodo from Shakhtar Donetsk, they would have spent around 10 to 15 million. So I think a window of 60 to 70 million is pretty good in this environment when you're getting four really top class players. So yeah, let's go to Ligue 1, and Ligue 1 basically has only one team we should be focusing on. That's PSG. So let's look at PSG's arrivals and departures. And I don't think PSG have a specific arrival that we should really point out, because Mauro Icardi has basically made his loan last season permanent, and Sergio Rico was on loan from Fulham last season, as arrived for 8 million euros. But PSG are targeting Eduardo Camavinga, who is, I think, one of the best young French midfielders, and I think, his price is around 70 million euros, and PSG are reluctant to buy him, but let's see what happens. And in terms of departures, there are pretty important departures here because Edinson Cavani has left the club, Edinson Cavani has left the club, and he hasn't decided on a new club yet. So that's also a sight to see. And Munier has left for Dortmund, of course, and Tanguy Kouassi has also gone to Bayern Munich. As I mentioned, he was a really top-rated centre back. He was rated by Tuchel, and Tuchel was very angry when he found out that Kouassi was leaving for free. And has Susan left or something? Susan has left. I hope he returns. Um, so Susan, have you returned? Hello.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So let's
There
go
was
to
some.
Serie A. Serie A, let's start with the Juventus. And Juventus have bought Weston McKennie from loan with an option to buy from Schalke. He's a really highly rated youngster, American youngster. He's from Texas actually, and he was pretty great for Schalke last season. And he has come to Juventus on loan with an option to buy. And obviously, the transfer we all know is Arthur Melo, who has come from Barca in a surprising transfer swap with Miralem Pjanic for 72 million euros. I think another transfer we should be really looking forward to is Dejan Kulusevski from Atalanta. He's one of the most he's I think the biggest talent Sweden have produced for a while now, and he's a real deal. So I think you guys should look forward to seeing him play next season. He's been playing as a creative winger in Parma last season, but this season he can be deployed in the right side of midfield too. Let's see where Pirlo deploys him. And Luis Suarez has been linked to Juventus from Barcelona. Susan, what do you think about your former Liverpool striker Luis Suarez leaving Barca and maybe probably going to Juventus this season? Susan?
And about the transfer fee of Luis Suarez as well, because reportedly he is valued around, I think, 3-4 million something. I saw somewhere
Susan,
that he is
I
joining
think the
Juventus on three
first
four
part of
three or
your
4 million. So I think
first part
that's
of your statement got caught out. So can you repeat it? The internet is shambolic right now.
a, Luis Suarez is reportedly valued at around 3-4 million, I think, and I think that will be a really good transfer for Juventus, considering Suarez can deliver them a good season after Higuain has already left. So I think Suarez will give them a pretty good season this if they can buy him for 3 million. It's a bargain, I say, for Luis Suarez
There were
at this
also a
stage as
lot
well.
of there were also a lot of departures from Juventus. Miralem Pjanic, of course, in that infamous swap deal, went to Barca, and Blaise Matuidi has gone to Beckham's Inter Miami, and Gonzalo Higuain and Sami Khedira's contract was terminated by Pirlo, and Gonzalo Higuain has joined Inter Miami, and Sami Khedira still doesn't have a new club, so that will also be a thing to watch next season. And AC Milan have I've mentioned AC Milan here because they've bought some really good players. And the first thing I want to talk about is the arrival of Sandro Tonali on loan from Brescia, and he's been termed as the next best Italian midfielder. He's been compared to Pirlo, but I think his game is Pirlo was a lot more elegant. Tonali is not the typical Pirlo-esque midfielder. Their faces are similar, their hairstyle is similar, but Tonali is very much different from Pirlo. So I think, but he's obviously very good. So you should be looking out for him next season. And Brahim Diaz has also gone from Real Madrid to AC Milan on loan. So yeah, let's see how he plays. He's obviously a youth player from City, and so yeah. And Bakayoko has also been linked to rejoining AC Milan on loan from Chelsea with an option to buy. And so yeah, that's one thing we should look forward to. And departures, I mentioned Bonaventura because Bonaventura has been one of the longest serving players in Milan, and he's joined for Fiorentina this season. So yeah, that's a pretty um, uh, long serving player moving on from Milan this season. Uh, the next uh, team
And
is,
being around the likes of
yeah,
Zlatan also, it helps
yeah,
the younger players a lot.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Being
I think
around
yeah,
a leader in Zlatan,
yeah,
I think will help the younger players that
yeah,
AC Milan have recruit
yeah,
this season. I think they'll benefit a lot from
yeah. I
Zlatan's
think
experience.
yeah, Zlatan last season when he joined from LA Galaxy, Milan had a, strong core of young players, but the young players were under a lot of pressure. So when Zlatan arrived, I think the limelight was pointed towards, all the limelights were pointed towards Zlatan. So I think all the pressure around the young players were, what is the correct term, lessened. I don't know. You get what I mean. The young players um, had to play under a lot less pressure when Zlatan arrived, and Zlatan has extended his contract for another year. So I think that's a good sign for youngsters. And I think the most interesting recruitment strategy of this year has been Inter Milan. So Susan, do you have anything to say about Antonio Conte's genius recruitment?
I think Antonio Conte has bought all players, and you have also questioned McDermott as well, and I was laughing
Susan,
yesterday
your
about
audio
the
is
inclusion of
insane.
Vidal and Darmian into the team.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know what
Darmian
he's
is
trying to
actually
do,
linked.
but
Fabrizio
he's
Romano
trying to
has
do it
mentioned
for this
Darmian
season.
in his.
Yes.
This is not some random rumor.
Yeah, I also saw and I laughed that Darmian is actually linked. I think the club will be in shambles in few years because of the way
Yeah,
Conte is
yeah,
dealing with
yeah. I
wages
think,
these players
yeah,
have.
yeah. Yeah, I think Conte is being very narrow-minded and he wants to attack the title this season. But he can attack the title this season with the players he's buying. But Inter will have a lot of old players, and I don't know what he's trying to buy with players like Matteo Darmian. And he bought Victor Moses, on loan from Chelsea last season. He has Ashley Young. So we're next season we're actually gonna see Alexander Kolarov and Ashley Young fight for the left wing back spot at Inter. So that will be a great sight to behold. And I think Alexis Sanchez on free was. I thank Inter for doing this because, yeah, someone needed to buy him from United and rescue United, and Inter has rescued United by buying players like Ashley Young and Alexis Sanchez. And also, I think Ashraf Hakimi is the only decent buy from Inter Milan because he's actually a good player and he's really good in that wing back role, which Conte will play. So yeah, that's I think a good buy. Uh, Vidal is strongly linked to joining Inter within this week, and Matteo Darmian, I don't know what Conte is thinking. Maybe he can prove us wrong at Italy again. Departures, Diego Godin is looking to leave Inter. So last season Diego Godin went from Atletico to Inter on free, and now he's leaving to, I think he's going to Genoa or somewhere. And Lautaro Martinez has been linked to joining Barca, but I think Lautaro will stay at Inter, and Barca will probably, we'll talk about Barca later. And Napoli, I'm adding Napoli here because they did buy a good player. He's a striker from Lille, Victor Osimhen, for 70 million euros, which is a pretty decent price. But the main thing about Napoli is their departures, which is Alan. Alan was he's a really good destroyer mold midfielder who was one of the key figures in Sari's team, and also Ancelotti's, and also in Gattuso's team. So I think Alan leaving to Everton is, yeah, I think that's a pretty key departure for Napoli, and Koulibaly is linked to City. So, Susan, if Koulibaly joins City, what do you think City's title challenges will be affected for next season?
I think City will take the title.
Yeah, I think so too because
If City win,
uh,
I'm not so full about Liverpool retaining the title.
yeah. So
Because
yeah,
the only
mm,
problem City are having at the moment is the centre back, because
yeah,
Fernandinho had to play there and they haven't replaced
yeah,
Company till now, and
yeah,
Stone's not looking promising and Otamendi also out of favor. So only Laporte remains, and obviously they are brought in Nathan Ake, but they still want to be stronger in that
yeah,
department. If
yeah,
Koulibaly comes, then
yeah.
they're too strong for any team I think in the league.
Yeah, I think Susan's Twitter followers will understand this joke. John Stones actually played like a stone last season. Yeah, I've mentioned Atlanta here because there are two key departures. Timothy Castagne has left for Leicester City, and Gianluca Mancini was really great. You formed a really great partnership with Chris Smalling last season at Roma. He's also joined Roma on a permanent deal, and I think Atlanta, following the trend of finding gems across Europe, have bought Alexei Miranchuk from Lokomotiv Moscow for 14.5 million euros, and they're going to obviously develop him into a star player in 2 years, which is, I think, typical Atlanta behavior. So let's go to La Liga, and let's start with our star team, our team of the year, our hero, our captain, our legend, FC Barcelona. And I think this is a great time to bring our resident Barca fan, Rishabh Rupakheti, to the podcast. So let's wait for him so that we can discuss this Barca thing with him. Susan? Susan, I've made you co-host. So if Rishabh comes, can you
Yes,
admit him?
yes. But Rishabh isn't fine.
And Nirav can also join. Ni- yeah, Nirav is also our legend Barca fan, and you can also join. Nirav is also welcome. And if there are any other Barca fans in the comment section, they're also very much welcome to join our stream. Okay, Rishabh has arrived. Uh, Nirav, you can also come if you want to. So is Rishabh here? Rishabh,
Oh
Rishabh,
yeah.
our
Hello.
resident
One moment.
Barca
Yes.
Barca guest is has arrived. So yeah, you can see the screen, and I've mentioned all the arrivals and departures. And one interesting thing I see is Barca have bought three young raw players from different
Yeah.
clubs. I think Trincao is from Braga.
Yeah.
Pedri is from a second division team in Spain, and Matheus Fernandez is from Brazil.
Yeah. So, is my audio? Am I audible? By the way?
I can hear you.
The only positive about Barcelona this season is that we have offloaded some of our older players in this transfer window.
Yeah,
For example, Rakitic and Arturo Vidal, which is almost sure. Luis Suarez is pretty uncertain to join Juventus. I don't think that he's going to join Juventus this summer. But the transfer swap of Pjanic and Arthur Melo, obviously, it was absolutely. I don't know what Bartomeu was thinking while doing this, because I think it is a very stupid decision. Because we pretty much had our midfield sorted for the next few seasons with De Jong, Puig, and Arthur. But I think that's that. And now that Messi is probably in his final season, I think that being linked with Depay is a good thing in a way, because Depay has been playing as a center forward in Lyon, and he has been pretty good. And I think he can be pretty essential for us next season. But um, Pedri
Luis
is
Suarez has arrived.
Kirigiri. What?
Luis Suarez has arrived.
And Pedri, I feel he's an unproven talent. He's been performing in the second division, but I'm not quite you know I don't have much expectations about Pedri.
Yeah.
But I do have a lot of expectations on Trinchao because he had a fantastic season at Braga, and I hope that he could become a good part of our attack next season.
Yeah. So please welcome our Barca's first choice striker, Luis Suarez, to our podcast.
Last episode, I'm like,
So, Luis, what do you think about Barca's recruitment this season? I think they're uh, going for Memphis Depay and Wijnaldum. Martinez is pretty unrealistic now, but Depay and Wijnaldum could come to Barca. So, what do you think about those two signings?
um, I think those two players are really nice because Memphis Depay especially is a creative player, right? So
No,
I
he's a
think,
striker, bro.
but he can link up and all, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, he can. Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. So if he plays, then there will be less pressure on the midfield, I guess, because only creative player we have is Ricky Puig, right? So
Yeah.
I'm not sure if there are other strikers who are ball hogger, then Barca will not be effective. And
yeah. Continue. Sorry, ball
yeah, that's
hogger
it,
was
man.
just peak, peak Barca banter.
That's what we have seen, right?
Yes, yes. Continue, continue. Sorry.
त्यो दुःख त हामीलाई पो थाहा छैन.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's it. Talk about something
Yes.
more.
Yeah. So, regarding departures, Lionel. Yeah, we should talk about the greatest, almost departure of all time, which was Lionel Messi almost going rogue and joining City and sending a burofax to the Barca boards. What do you guys think about that incident? And now that he's staying, and that interview with Goal a few weeks ago, which was pretty much
Yeah.
Bartomeu's public, I don't know, public humiliation of Bartomeu. So, what do you think about that?
I feel like I think Messi is absolutely right in this case, because he served the club for so long, and as said in the interview, he was so promised by the club that he would be able to leave um, at the end of the season for a free price, but the club did betray him in the end. But yeah, I think if Messi leaves next season, then the Barca fans will not have a problem because he served the club for so long, and I think he's right in this case as well.
Yeah, as
Yeah,
a Barca fan, you
yeah,
want Messi to stay, but what are the possibilities if he goes to any other club? Don't you want to see Messi in any other club? Like,
yeah,
how can it?
yeah,
It's you just
yeah,
imagine and seeing that thing. Will Seeing that thing is many football fans have really dreamed of for a long time.
yeah,
So that should happen.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think I personally think, of course, him staying at Barca is a good thing for Barca, but yeah, we'll just admit someone, Sancho. Yeah, so I think I personally think Messi staying is actually a bigger financial burden for Barca because he's gonna collect his yearly 100 million plus wages. Plus, I think Messi now gets a 70 million loyalty bonus for staying till 2021 until the end of his contract. So Barca have effectively spent 170 million plus other bonuses on Messi this season only, which is I think a bigger financial burden than what if they had just like sold Messi to City for around 100 million and a few players. I think that would have been more um, you know, I think that would have made more financial sense for Barca. But yeah, I think that's it. So thank you guys. Thank you both of you
Yeah,
for
welcome.
thank you for your honest reactions. Ball augur as to be the best peak false nine since a long time.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
La.
L- So I have Sancho with me. Sancho, can you please reveal your identity so that since Sancho is not revealing his identity, I think I should just remove Sancho for now. And Ogad has entered. Hello, Ogad.
Are
Hello.
you calling me Sancho?
What? Since Sancho is not removing Ogad identity, I think Agad, can you mute our stream so that
Yeah, my bad.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
since you're here, I've gone to the Liverpool slide, skip to the Liverpool slide, so we can talk about Liverpool. And I don't know where our Liverpool podcast panelist has gone right now. He's disappeared, so I think it's a good time to talk about Liverpool. And
Alright.
as we can see, Liverpool have bought Kostas Tsimikas from Olympiacos this season as a backup for Robertson after their failed pursuit of Jamal Lewis. And they're also linked to Thiago Alcantara and a new center back as a Lovren replacement. So, what do you think about Liverpool's recent recruitment prospects? Since it's looking pretty dim, and what do you think are the some of the key areas Liverpool should strengthen on?
Yeah, I mean, the transfer business has been pretty dull, and obviously, you're not entertained as a fan who want Liverpool to keep dominating the league after winning after 30 years, right? So, yeah, it was dull. But yeah, first of all, I don't think we're getting a new center back this season. Klopp has been, I mean, trying out new youngsters, and then probably that will happen, or we've got Fabinho to fall back as well. And
Yeah,
judging from today's press conference that I saw about Klopp was laughing about Thiago, and he is uncertain. I mean, he said it again that he really thinks Thiago is a good player, and he really likes him. But I don't know how the business is going to get done. But it looks
yeah,
like Wijnaldum is staying. That's me judging from today's press conference. So yeah, and Wijnaldum also tweeted a photo saying, yeah, he was celebrating with the teammates, saying caption, and
yeah,
then yeah, it was like teasing that he's getting a new contract or something.
yeah.
So yeah, that looks to happen. But yeah, and on the departure side, I don't really mind go
Yeah,
for.
something I wanted to ask was, what do you think about Ryan Brewster? Because it's obviously a pivotal season for him because Klopp has trusted him. He's gone out on loan on Swansea, and he's I think impressed because he scored in their championship playoff, and he was pretty great. And now this season, you can either go out on loan or you can stay and fight for places in the against Firmino. So, like, what do you think is the best option for him this season, considering he won't get a lot of game time this season? So, what do you think will be the best option for him?
For me, what I would ideally like is for Brewster to go on loan. But from what we're hearing on Twitter is about Liverpool journals saying that like Liverpool journals are saying is that Brewster might be getting sold, and I do not want that to happen. They're saying Brewster might be getting sold, but we have a buyback option or something. But I do not want that to happen on any chance. The best thing that would come out is Brewster to go on loan to I don't know the bottom half Premier League clubs or maybe clubs like Brighton or South, probably not Southampton, but um,
Yeah,
I don't know. What about
even
West
the
Brom or
Aston Villa,
something? Yeah, Aston Villa.
were
Yeah.
targeting him to get yeah
But
on loan.
yeah, that would be ideal. But I don't think he's going to get ideal playing time, and if he stays in the squad.
There
And
are a lot of teams targeting him on loan. I think Sheffield
yeah,
United, Aston Villa. Aston Villa bought I forgot his name. They bought a striker from um, what's his name? Oli Watkins. They
Yes,
bought
Oli.
Yeah,
Oli Watkins from Brentford, so I
Brentford.
don't think they're going for Brewster, but Sheffield United can because they only have one proper striker, that's Oli McBurney, and the other one Lee Sharp, who's actually a United academy product. He's been a long serving player for them, but I think they're willing to loan Brewster in.
Yeah, exactly. If that happens, obviously it's not up to the fans, but if that happens, I'll be really happy that Brewster is getting to go on loan as well because it
Yeah,
was very bright. I think 22 appearances for Swansea and he got 11 goals or something. So
yeah,
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 and like his volleys were like top notch. So obviously
yeah,
he's on the rise as well. But let's
yeah,
see what happens. Yeah, because there's a difference how you play in the championship and how you play in the Premier League. For example, I was a huge Harry Wilson fan, and then
yeah,
last year he went to Bournemouth, and then it was total shambles. Like
yeah.
he was
Not
in the
not total shambles because he scored. I think he scored 7 goals last season.
yeah, but on the after the after January, I think he was on the bench. He was benched by Eddie Howe, and then he didn't perform that well after January. But in the first half, he was all right. He was taking free kicks and stuff. But then after this, in the second half of the season, he was not even regularly starting. So yeah, but yeah, definitely for Harry Wilson, I'd like him to get sold to make funds for Thiago if that's a problem for
Yeah,
FSG.
yeah,
Marco Grujic actually looked pretty nice in preseason, but I don't think he fits the way Liverpool
yeah,
midfield plays. And also, he's getting like eyes from Bundesliga. Bundesliga's clubs
yeah.
are going
He's
for him. So
obviously playing at Hertha Berlin, so
yeah,
that's yeah,
yeah. So that would be
yeah,
nice to get funds from those players, but I do
yeah.
not want Brian Brewster to go on any reason for any reason.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Agat, for your time. I think you've covered pretty much every Liverpool transfer, so you've reduced our workload for today.
I want to give one suggestion. You can change
Yeah,
setting to general view instead of speaker view so that everyone can see the speakers in the screen rather than just
yeah.
having a.
I think wait. I'll stop. I'll pause this thing and I'll do that. Wait.
For now, I think you need to go from view options and then side to side or
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like
Speaker view. Okay.
that. All
Yeah.
right.
Okay. Thank you, Agat. Yeah. So, where were we?
Am I audible? Am I audible,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes, yes. We still have to talk about Real Madrid. I think Real Madrid. We need to talk about departures more than arrivals. Arrival Martin Odegaard has finally come back on loan to play for Real Madrid after 120 years of going out on loan, and he's finally back to the Madrid starting lineup now. And in terms of departures, they're pretty key departures right now. Ashraf Hakimi, who I think it was a pretty surprising thing to see Hakimi leave, because he could be a great option, option for Ceballos. James Rodriguez has obviously joined Everton. Brahim Diaz has gone on loan to AC Milan. Ceballos has returned on loan to Arsenal again. Takefusa Kubo, who's the Japanese Messi, has joined Villarreal on loan. And Renier Jesus, which was also a 55 million signing from Brazil, has joined Dortmund on loan. And there's still a lot of uncertainty about Sergio Regulon right now. And United, Sevilla, Tottenham, a lot of clubs are interested in him. He obviously has a 25 million euro price tag. And I think Real Madrid want to add a buyback option. And that is why the negotiations are slowing down, since United won't buy players with a buyback option. So I think United, he had a good chance of joining United, but the buyback option really uh, it's slowing the deal down. So mm, I think we could invite Prabhuda to talk about, because he's our basically our resident Real Madrid fan, but I don't know where Prabhuda is. if Prabhuda is around, um, yeah, can you please join us? And we'll just go through other teams briefly, and then we can, uh, if there are any questions in the live comments, we'll talk about it, and then we'll not, we'll try not to extend this stream for as long as it was last time. Since Prabhuda is not, I don't think is here. So let's move on to Athletic Madrid. And I've mentioned Athletic Madrid because they've basically made no signings till now, and they spent around 243 million euros on the transfer window last season, but this season they've not spent anything. So yeah, that's, I think, pretty interesting. And Manchester City, they've bought Ake for 45 million euros, Ferran Torres for 23 million euros, and they're obviously going for Kalidou Koulibaly, but the deal is slowing down because they won't negotiate with Napoli directly because of what happened to Jorginho. Because Jorginho was supposed to join City, but in the last moment, Napoli decided to send him to Chelsea with Sarri. So I think that has soured the relation between Napoli and City. So they're dealing with agents as a mediator, and that has obviously slowed down the deal. And I think Prabhuda is here, so let's just admit Prabhuda. So can you briefly talk about the lack of recruitment from Real Madrid and how Real Madrid plan to challenge for the title this season while also going for the Champions League?
Like the basic narrative that Zidane and the club has been. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
The basic, like the narrative that they've been pushing is that Hazard and Asensio will basically be like new signings, and that's what they're using to justify no major signings this season. Like, yeah, I think the clear plan is that the club is being overly cautious with its financial because of the Corona crisis, and they're using this summer as a clear out summer. And we basically, after the Reguilon deal is done, we'll earn more than 110 million from sales, and I think that's going to be used to strengthen next summer. And
Yeah.
yeah, basically like they're justifying not signing anyone because of the amount of money we spent last summer and the project that's in place next summer. And like the main two targets are Mbappe and Camavinga. And even today, like a very like a top tier reliable source for Real Madrid claimed that Real Madrid are in really advanced talks for Camavinga, but they're planning on signing him for next summer. So it's clear that this summer is being used purely as a way to increase our uh, financial power.
Yeah, but I heard Kamavinga is linked to PSG,
No,
and
that like
PSG.
PSG are monitoring him, but the only club that are in advanced talks with Camavinga and his family are Real Madrid apparently.
oh, okay. So, what do you think about some of the departures that happened from Real Madrid this season? Because Hakimi was obviously one to look for the future as a Carvajal replacement, and obviously James Rodriguez has left. I don't think James Rodriguez leaving is that much of an issue for Madrid, but players like Sergio Reguilon are also looking to leave. So, what do you think will um, no, let me frame the question in another. Since like key academy players are young players are leaving, what do you think is um, like the Madrid team for the future? Because obviously these were players who would fill the void of the current players right now.
Like I personally think that like we should have kept Hakimi and Ceballos and given them like a fair chance. But the problem with Real Madrid is that like if Zidane doesn't like the player, then they have no future at the club. And even when Hakimi was at Real in 2017-18, it was clear that Zidane didn't like him because of how much of a liability he was defensively. And even when Carvajal was injured against smaller La Liga sides, Zidane always opted to use either Vasquez or Nacho as the right back. And like it was clear from that Zidane didn't trust him. And same with Ceballos. So I think it's like Zidane has a clear idea of what team he wants for the future, and based on the transfer rumors and based on what he said in the press conferences and the team selections he's put out, he clearly sees Odegaard and Valverde as two players for the future, and uh, that's in midfield because like if Zidane comes out and publicly supports a player like he's done with Fede and Odegaard, then like based on his last few years at the club, those are the players that he sees having a future at the club, and I think the club aren't trying to do much of a hassle to like try and sell these players because they know that Zidane doesn't want them and they're trying to sell them on as quickly as possible. So I think like this summer we don't have a clear idea of who Zidane is going to try and phase in bar Odegaard. I think we'll have a better idea next summer.
Yeah. So thank you, Prabhuda, for your insight. As always, thank you.
Thank you.
S-
No,
Yeah.
I leave
So
now.
yeah. Okay. Uh, I think we should get back to our uh, thing, presentation thing, and okay, we talked about Real Madrid, we talked about Liverpool, we were talking about Manchester City, and obviously the Lionel Messi thing is now out of the picture. And City are looking to buy a left back and a striker still. So I think, as Susajan has already mentioned, I think that will massively boost their chances of winning the title this season. But some key departures: David Silva is now left as a Premier League legend to Real Sociedad. He's obviously a massively respected player, and I respect him a lot. Even as a United fan, I respect him a lot. So I think that's a big loss for the Premier League. And Leroy Sané, obviously one of the uh, in recent times, one of the best German talents out there, has also left Manchester City for Bayern Munich. So yeah, we've reached Manchester United, and Donny van de Beek obviously is a good signing for. A lot of people are talking about how Bruno and Pogba and Donny can fit into one midfield. It's not about fitting three players into one midfield. It's about squad depth. If we look at the title-winning sides of 1999 and 2008, the bench we had was amazing. Like, if Ferguson looked into the bench at the 1999 and Champions League quarterfinals or semifinals, he had Roy Keane and Paul Scholes playing in midfield, and he had players like Nicky Butt in the bench. And we had Andy Cole and Dwight York playing, and we had Terry Sheringham and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer on the bench. We had players like Henning Berg, Jordi Cruyff, Blomqvist on the bench. So obviously, squad depth is something United fans, I don't know why they understand. I think it's maybe because Liverpool won the title last season with such a limited amount of players. So I think that's why United fans don't understand competition for places. If we're playing
Is
Bruno
Donny Van
and
de Beek only an option? Means, is Donny
what?
Van de Beek only an option? Or
Yeah, I think so. I think so. So, what I'm trying to say is,
you can
when
just clear
Bruno,
about the midfield
yeah,
there
I
in the
think
future,
I don't think
the
Donny,
first team.
Bruno, and Pogba midfield is a well balanced midfield, because Donny is more of a number 8 or a number 10. He can play number 6, but it's usually alongside a more defensive midfielder. And Pogba is also the same. He can play as a central midfield in a double pivot, but he obviously can't play as the sole defensive midfielder. Same with Bruno. So I don't think Donny van de Beek is here to play alongside Pogba and Bruno in a midfield three of Pogba, Bruno, and Donny. It's more, basically because if just like explaining a certain scenario, when, for example, Bruno, Matic, and Pogba are starting, and then after 60 minutes, Bruno is fatigued, and Ole looks into the bench. He sees Andreas Pereira and Juan Mata on the bench. which is better, him seeing Juan Mata and Andreas Pereira on the bench, or him seeing Donny van de Beek and Mason Greenwood on the bench? That's why that's my message to all United fans who say why we're buying Sancho if because it hinders the development of Mason Greenwood, or why we bought Donny van de Beek when we already had Bruno and Pogba. Squad depth is key, and squad depth is how teams win titles. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Passionate rant about United. And Dean Anderson is obviously back on loan to challenge De Gea, which I think is important because De Gea made some really high profile errors last season, and that I think this time if he makes those errors, you will have you will have this thing on the back of his mind that Dean Anderson is right there to snatch his number one position. A key departure, obviously, Alexis Sanchez to Inter is now done, which probably saves United around 52 million euros. So, yeah, that's a pretty big money to save. And obviously, Chris Smalling hasn't trained with the club, and I think he will go to Roma. So yeah. So I think for Chelsea, I've talked a lot. So Susan, please handle the mantle.
I'm really hopeful about Chelsea this season because of the way the transfers have happened for Chelsea. But people are saying about the Lampard pull and all. But if you look at the salaries of those players, of Kai Havertz, Timo Werner, and even Ben Chilwell, they are way too much higher than the ones like Mohamed Salah or Roberto Firmino or Mane are getting. But I'm pretty sure that this Chelsea team is uh, will be a good team to watch because they're also obviously linked with Declan Rice as well, and they are targeting their transfers and they are doing their business step by step, and it's really uh, and they are really good players. It's not about spending huge amount of money, but they're spending on good players, good young talented players. Talking about Kai Havertz and Timo Werner and Hakim Ziyech, we all have seen what they have done in their respective leagues. So I'm just waiting for the league to start, and Chelsea are obviously one of the teams which I would love to see after Liverpool this season.
Yeah, and Chelsea, I think they're not looking to stop. They're in advanced talks to sign Eduardo Mendy from Lille, who is a goalkeeper, and he'll obviously
It's almost
be
done. Almost done.
yeah, and he'll obviously provide competition to Kepa,
They've said
who's
that
had a
after
poor
Mendy, they'll
yeah
focus on Declan Rice. So
Declan Rice. So I think
after
if
Mendy,
they
they'll
get
focus on
Declan
Declan
Rice,
Rice. So
yeah,
if they have the money, they're getting Declan Rice.
so they'll buy 8 players this season. Malang Sarr will obviously go out on loan, but apart from him, the other 7 will be playing for Chelsea this season. Obviously, Willian has left. We'll talk about that in the Arsenal segment. Tottenham have also bought some. I think 2 players are key here. Doherty.
Obviously, most of them are starters.
Yeah, yeah. And let's go to Tottenham. Doherty is here for 16.8 million, and Pierre-Emile Højbjerg obviously has come from Southampton on 16.6. So, what do you think about this signing, since these are Mourinho signings?
Yeah,
So,
Doherty will
Sozan.
obviously
Yeah,
fit in the right back role, and Pierre-Emile
yeah,
Højbjerg will obviously in the I think in first as far as we've seen, Mourinho doesn't trust Ndombele, and
yeah,
since Lo Celso hasn't featured in any of the preseason
yeah.
matches, I think Højbjerg will feature alongside either of Sissoko or Harry Winks. And
Mm,
but one position that I doubt about Spurs is the center back position because I've seen Dyer playing as a center back alongside Alderweireld. So I think
mm,
there is one position where they should consider because
yeah,
they might be considering one fourth also there, but
yeah,
I feel like they should go for a more experienced center back pairing for
yeah.
Alderweireld rather than going for
And
Dyer there.
yeah, and a few things about Tottenham's new signings. Doherty obviously will go into Aurier's place, and Aurier is looking to leave. He'll
And the
probably join
backup
AC
striker
Milan.
because Harry
Yeah.
Kane was
I was
recently
about to
injured,
mention that.
so
Yes. So Doherty, he's been playing as a wing back, right wing back for Wolves, and I think that will be the position he plays at Tottenham, because Tottenham play a lopsided formation. If you watch Tottenham play, they during attack, normally Serge Aurier would push up almost as a winger, and Ben Davis would slot into the backline to form a back three. So that would create a lopsided position where the right back would function as a winger, and on the left the width would be provided by the whoever is the left winger, mostly Son. So I think after Doherty arrives to Tottenham, he will be playing the wing back role when Tottenham are in offensive mode, because Mourinho likes to play in that lopsided thing. And the thing about Højbjerg is Højbjerg has very average passing and dribbling stats, but one thing that Højbjerg is one of the best at in the Premier League is ball winning. He The amount of duels he wins is I think one of the best stats he has. So I think he will inject that something, as we all saw in the Tottenham Amazon documentary. Mourinho was publicly calling his players to be more aggressive and be less of a good guy. So I think Højbjerg will provide that steal in midfield. And obviously Jan Vertonghen has left after a, a long, yeah, he joined I think in 2011, so that's a really long time. Kyle Walker Peters has joined Southampton, and Aurier will be joining AC Milan in a while, I think, since Doherty has arrived. And let's go to Arsenal.
And the
Arsenal have
one thing,
yeah,
I'd like to add one thing about this Mourinho setup. Tottenham is the only area of concern is Mourinho isn't sure about his midfield till now, because uh,
yeah,
he's we have seen him shuffling a lot with his
yeah,
midfield, and he hasn't found the right balance, and I think the team
yeah,
hasn't clicked because of the midfield. Because if you look at the
yeah,
front four players in Lucas Moura, Son, Kane, and
yeah,
Dele Alli, were pretty
yeah,
much fixed there, their
yeah,
position. But if you look at the midfield players, then I think Mourinho needs to
yeah,
find that balance, because
yeah,
Ndombele, a player like
yeah,
Ndombele, cannot be wasted on the bench.
yeah. but I think Tottenham's best midfield this season would be Harry Winks, Højbjerg, and Lo Celso. Lo Celso being the number 10, and that will provide the Winks will stay deep, and Højbjerg can actively look to you know, roam around for winning the ball back, and Lo Celso can play in that number 10 position. So I think that's the best midfield
I think the
for Tottenham.
only sure player in the midfield spot is I think Sissoko is trusted by Mourinho a lot, and he's
Yeah,
also
but
regarded as a figure
yeah,
in the room, as we saw in the Amazon
yeah, yeah,
All or Nothing, that Sissoko has
yeah,
a lot of influence among the players,
yeah,
and we've seen
yeah,
Sacramento telling Mourinho that
yeah,
Sissoko is obviously one of them. So I
yeah,
think Sissoko will obviously play in that midfield. And other
yeah,
than that, I don't see any other starters like getting.
yeah. So for Arsenal, we coincidentally have two Arsenal. Abbas is back again, and Sozog. I think this time we should let Sozog talk more, because Abbas has obviously joined again. So Sozog, what do you think about the new Arsenal arrivals, and also the links to Thomas Partey and Hussein Mawar?
Yes, this is my first appearance on such a good
Yes,
podcast, so I'm quite nervous.
welcome, welcome, welcome.
Regarding the arrivals, Gabriel and William Saliba, I think they are good prospects for the future. You know? 2-3 years down the line, I can see them making a formidable partnership in defense.
Yeah,
I don't know about this season, but I think Gabriel will perform well. We have been decent in defense after Arteta has come, so maybe it will be possible if they play not so good. But
yeah,
Willian, I'm not very convinced by the Willian signing, but we
yeah,
needed depth in the wings, so
yeah,
it's possible too. And
yeah,
Thomas Partey, I think he's a player who will help Arsenal a lot, because Arsenal
yeah,
lack steel in midfield.
yeah,
That ball winner, although Xhaka plays as a defensive midfielder, he's not a
yeah,
pure ball winner. He's
yeah. True.
more of a
Yes.
possession recycler. So
Yeah,
all action midfielder like Partey will be very good for Arsenal.
yeah,
One thing I see about Arsenal that the media or any outlet doesn't touch is the creativity aspect.
Yeah.
There's an appalling stat about Arsenal, Kevin. Arsenal created fewer chances in the league than Watford last season, and they
Okay.
are very bad creatively, which
Yeah.
makes Aubameyang's season even more incredible.
Yeah.
So even though Ovar is a very good player, you know,
Yeah.
I think Arsenal should look towards signing a creative player.
Yeah.
Or like Tifo football को नि एउटा भिडियो थियो त्यो
Yeah. Yeah. I've watched that. Yeah.
त्यसमा they suggested Pellegrini, which I think is a
Yeah.
very good shout.
Yeah. Lorenzo
Or
from
I
Roma.
think he's a very good player, but he's not of that creative profile that Arsenal want.
Yeah.
But maybe Arteta knows what he wants from the midfield. But
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
should sign a creative player. And
Yeah.
maybe there are talks about William playing a number 10 role. Let's
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
what
Yeah. That's also true.
he
Yeah.
does, because
Yeah.
I don't have high expectations for Arsenal this season.
Yeah.
Top 6 would be very good.
Yeah.
Top 4 would be an incredible achievement.
Yeah.
So let's see. We have faith in Arteta.
Yeah.
One player
Thank
that
you,
is
Sozak.
less talked about is Nicolas Pepe. So, what do you think about him? And expect Nicolas Pepe to do this season, because
Yeah. I think.
he's
Yeah.
those
Abbas.
players.
Abbas.
He's a big money signing. Nicolas Pepe
Yeah.
was a big money signing for Arsenal. So, what do you guys think about his role this season and what could he bring to the team?
I feel like the first season he came in, so last season, it was like a lot of pressure for a player like Pepe to come to a team. I mean, everybody knows Arsenal. Arsenal doesn't really fork out 72 million for a player just like that. And that's what they did. And he came in with that, he came in with a very big responsibility, and people expected him to start scoring goals up, down, left, right, and center. And that's not going to happen. And paired with the fact that we had Emery as our manager, and the whole environment around the club was very toxic, it never really helped him grow in as a player at Arsenal. So I feel like this season, I mean, we did see some kind of glimpses of that brilliance that Pepe has. But yeah, hopefully this season we see more of it. I'm not gonna say he's gonna be like a beast this season, but maybe a little more than we saw last season.
Yeah. Yeah. Daniel James
Can we
greater
see a
than.
bit more of Ozil this season?
Just like I said, again, the problem with Pepe is we lack a midfielder who links the attack, the midfield and attack. So Pepe is often left isolated. He's a very isolated figure. Aubameyang too, but he scores, so people think he is not. So Pepe is very isolated, right now. And if he gets supplied the ball more, and this is, I think he adapted in the first season. So this season I'm expecting a lot from Pepe as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean-
I read an article from a renowned journalist, David Ornstein. He said that Arsenal were actively looking to do an internal investigation to
They
see if they overpaid on Nicolas Pepe, because even the Arsenal board thought that he was not worth the 72 million the Arsenal paid. Oh, so Shirish is here. So yeah, Shirish, this is also his debut, and I must say, Sozog, I think your debut in this podcast is probably one of the best debuts I've seen, because the amount of analysis you did while being so nervous was amazing. So yeah, really, really good debut, man.
Thank you. Learning from the best.
Thank you. Yes, Shirish. So what do you think about Arsenal's recruitment this season?
I think we are having trouble to even pay the 45 million release clause of Thomas Partey.
Yeah.
For a player that's so important, I believe, and we are put in that kind of situation. It's like so appalling. Even William Saliba, we had to pay in installments, and Nicolas Pepe, we had to pay in installments, and William Saliba, we had to loan him back in order for us to convince Saint Etienne to sell the player to us. And seeing that our owners are not like willing to put money into the club so freely as the other owners, is like worrying. But I think if you manage to snag Thomas Partey, then I think Arsenal can have a good shot at getting at least maybe Champions League football this season. And
According to the reports I've read, Arsenal are willing to pay out the release clause of Partey, and they are now raising funds for our. So I think Partey is almost a done signing. Should be there in a week or two.
Okay.
As
Hopefully,
unless
Our personal ITK.
unless Fabrizio Romano says something, I'm not going to believe anybody. So yeah,
Yeah. I'm done with ITKs.
I mean,
So yeah,
considering all the signings, I
sorry.
mean, yeah, the arrivals, I feel like Gabriel has,
Yeah.
and everybody thinks Gabriel is going to be that quick fix thing for Arsenal, which is not true. For me, the best centre
Yeah.
back pairing we can have for the opening day would be Rob Holding and William Saliba.
Oh, okay.
And I still feel like we have a couple of more seasons before we can see, as the other person said, as
Yeah.
for us to see Gabriel and William Saliba as
Yeah.
our two main centre back.
Yeah.
And for the
but
departures,
I think we'll go with a back three. So it's
Yeah. If they opt
Gabriel,
for a back
Saliba, and
three, yeah,
Holding for tomorrow.
Even Tierney.
David
I
Luiz,
mean,
I think.
Tierney is
David
always
Luiz, I heard he's injured. He had
Yeah.
some
Yeah,
neck
okay.
injury, so he's ruled out for
Yeah.
tomorrow's game.
Okay.
and
So
for the
yeah.
departures,
Yeah.
I would not want to lose Maitland Niles or Hector Bellerin or Rob Holding.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we're going to lose Emi Martinez to Aston Villa because they
Yeah.
have upped their bid
Yeah.
again.
I'd like
But
to
yeah,
see play Niles
Rob
play in the
Holding is probably
midfield.
going out on loan to Newcastle.
no, it was
according
it
to
was
reports.
Arsenal
U-turn.
have done a U-turn on Rob Holding, so
Yeah.
he's staying
Yeah, okay,
according to
okay.
Ornstein.
Okay, even Bellerin is staying. I think PSG have. The loan offer has been rejected, and Maitland
Yes,
Niles
yes,
is.
yes. Signed Florenzi, so Bellerin is staying
Oh, okay.
most
Yeah,
probably.
okay.
But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think Arsenal can do with selling a right back to raise funds for the midfield. So I think
Yeah.
having three right backs is quite unnecessary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Maitland Niles could also play in the midfield position. I'd like to see him play there.
Yeah.
And like selling Bellerin and then finding another right back doesn't make sense to me, which is already settled there over such a long period of time.
Yeah.
He's like one of the longest serving players after Emiliano Martinez, I believe, in Arsenal at this
He's the
moment.
vice captain.
Which is-
Yes.
Ozil.
Yeah.
And yeah, Ozil, I think he's just at this. You sit there by Khairaza Ozil at this point, and he's also very reluctant to leave. But I think we can make use of Ozil in like those Europa League fixtures where we play like Slavia Praha and those guys, Ludo Goretz and those kind of
Kazakh
teams.
farmers.
Yeah, those kind of teams. I think we can make use of Ozil and I think there Ozil will come back into the team this season. I have a feeling, and I think Arteta has also. I think Ozil in the recent. I don't know. I think in a recent tweet or something, he mentioned coming back into the team or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
One last thing, the biggest signing that we can have this summer would be Aubameyang's contract extension signing.
Yeah, but I think it's done. I
mean,
read
it's
an
done
article today
according to reports
by
today.
Ornstein.
Yes.
Yeah, I think Ornstein
It's done.
confirmed it. So I think he's the most reliable Arsenal source.
Yes,
So-
and Arteta told Arsenal fans can relax about Aubameyang's situation in today's press conference. So
Oh yeah, true.
that's
They
a
did.
very good sign
I
as
mean,
well.
So I think with this, I would like to thank our Arsenal panel.
We have to
Arsenal
be
panel of
very-
three.
Very pessimistic as Arsenal fans because like we thought we would get Luis Suarez, then he went on to go to Barcelona and score 2,000 goals. So
40 million in
I'm
one
always pessimistic as an Arsenal fan, but let's see. Hoping
Okay,
for the
thank you
best.
guys. Thank you Avash. Thank you Sojak. Thank you Shirish. I hope you're not
Very
kidnapped
grateful for
looking at your
False Nine
background.
for
But
giving us the opportunity.
okay, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, so I think we should briefly go through the other things. Leicester have bought Timothy Castagne after selling Ben Chilwell, And Everton, as
That's a
I
really good
mentioned,
signing,
they
I think. Castagne,
yeah, yeah,
playing under
yeah,
Gasperini and then coming to
yeah,
Leicester City to prove. I think that is
yeah,
a really good signing for Leicester.
yeah. I think one thing to talk about really is Everton's recruitment. What do you think about James Rodriguez coming to the Premier League?
Uh, in my opinion, James Rodriguez has been one of the best players for me because I love to see him play because the way he scores goals, the spectaculars, I really love James. And I always remember the goal that he scored in the World Cup. And I always have an image of James playing playing that well. But I know recently he hasn't found his form. But under Ancelotti, because Ancelotti likes him a lot and knows his style of play, I think he would cherish. I wouldn't love to see him against playing well good against Liverpool, but I would love to see him flourish in the
Yeah,
Premier League, and I'm
he
pretty hopeful
yeah,
that he would chip in with goals and assists in the
yeah.
first season. Not an
He had
impact
his
that Bruno
best
made, but
season
I think
under
James is
Ancelotti. Yeah,
Ancelotti. I think James will do good,
yeah,
really good with the
yeah,
stable midfield that he has in Allen and
yeah,
Dokore.
yeah.
So he has the
Dokore,
freedom
yeah,
and
yeah,
license to move forward. But
yeah,
the thing is to see is if Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin can produce the same amount uh, if he provides, then they
yeah,
need to also
yeah, yeah,
come out
yeah.
on top.
True,
They need
true.
to be at the
Yeah,
top of the game. So it
yeah,
mainly depends on the front players that Everton
yeah,
have
yeah.
right now.
Yeah, yeah, we've already touched on Alan and Dukure. They're both quality signings in midfield, and for a pretty decent price, 25 and 22.5 million euros, and Amazon free. That's, I think, a bargain signing. What was the name of Everton's director of football? I forgot his name, but I think he's
Shiri or
pretty.
something.
No, no, no. Moshiri are the owners. There's
He
one. I forgot his name, but yeah, he's pretty well regarded in the director of football community. So yeah, but I forgot his name. And I think one thing we need to talk about is how Leeds are making moves in the transfer market, especially Rodrigo, their recent signing, record signing. They broke their transfer window after 17 years. The last time they broke their record was for Rio Ferdinand. So imagine how far back that was. I think they bought Ferdinand for around 21 million back then from West Ham. So this is a pretty decent step up from that after 16 years. So no, more than 16, I think 17, 18. So
Yes,
what do you think
yeah.
about Rodrigo coming to the Premier League with Leeds, and they're also being linked to Rodrigo De Paul. I think that's a pretty much a done deal. He's a really good attacking midfielder from Udinese, and they're also being linked to Rafinha from Barca and Draxler. So, what do you think about Leeds
One player that
recruit?
you missed out is Elder Costa. Elder Costa from Wolves, the right wing.
Yeah, but he
Elder
was
Costa
on
is
he
also,
was on he was on loan last season. He's already played one
yeah, yeah.
season for Leeds, and it's just that he made his deal permanent this season. Yeah, Lacosta has been at Leeds since the last season.
Rodrigo, for me, it's a quality signing for Leeds, but I'm not quite convinced that he'll be a 15, 20 goal season striker for Leeds. But with the way Bielsa sets up his team, uh, we can be pretty hopeful that he'll score at least 15 goals a season, and I
Yeah,
think that'll be good enough for Rodrigo in the first season
yeah,
because lot of things are expected from him, and
yeah,
30 million, it's a record signing for the Leeds. It's the team as well. So
yeah,
and the pressure is obviously on. So
yeah,
I think 15 goals a season for this first season is a pretty decent stat for Rodrigo if he
yeah.
pulls out that.
Yeah, but one thing about Rodrigo is that Rodrigo hasn't played under a pressing system. Is I think he played in Valencia for 4 years, and none of the sides were a pressing side. So I think he will have to adjust a lot to play under Bielsa. Obviously, he will have that training, intense training at. I think Leeds training ground's name is Thorpe Ark. So I think
But
yeah, he'll have a very
Rodrigo,
intense.
has already played in the Premier League with Bolton for
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
2 or 3
Bolton,
years.
yeah, on loan,
He
on
was,
loan.
he was on loan. So
Yeah,
he has the
yeah,
experience of playing in the Premier League. So I think he'll
yeah,
do well this time.
yeah. Yes, yes. And also Robin Koch, he was bought
Yeah,
at
Freiburg
around
from
13
Freiburg.
million from Freiburg, and he's a
Yeah.
good center back. Obviously, they've bought a replacement for Ben White, who's staying at Brighton, and Brighton
Yeah.
have extended their contract and they intend to keep him, so they've bought another center back. And Ilan Meslier is a goalkeeper. I think it's a backup for Kiko Casilla. So, but Leeds were also targeting Romero, but I don't think they're gonna buy Romero. But obviously, if they buy Rodrigo De Paul and one of Draxler or Rafinha, I think that will be a pretty great window for Leeds.
And they also have Bamford on the bench, so
Yeah,
Rodrigo.
yeah, yeah. I think for the first game, Bamford will play because I don't think Rodrigo is ready to really get into that side.
Yeah.
And obviously, one thing about Leeds, Calvin Phillips got into the England national team. He is a
Yeah.
player to watch out because he's the defensive midfielder on Bielsa's side, and I think he's one player who's he's a really great technically gifted midfielder. He plays as a holding midfielder for Bielsa's side, and another player, really good player on Bielsa's team is Pablo Hernandez. He's the creative output on their team. So I think those are the players that could I don't know, you should watch out for them. So yeah, this is it for our transfer, and let's quickly go through the chat to see if there's anything on here. We'll probably start tomorrow with obligation. Is the play creatively anymore. Shirish दाइ जानु पर्यो Arsenal. Shirish obviously came. Thank you Shirish for coming. Osim Jurgen Klopp so honest about Gini Wijnaldum. Liverpool are in talks to sign him. Oh okay, so Wijnaldum is saying
I
thank
think
you
Wijnaldum
Osim
is
for
staying.
that.
Wijnaldum is staying.
So okay, so I think that changes a lot for the Thiago deal. United were also in him.
But I
Do you think
recently saw that
they'll?
Liverpool increased their offer to 30, but Bayern are demanding 35. I saw somewhere.
Yeah. But do you think Liverpool will buy Thiago now?
I feel like Liverpool will buy Thiago Josari Pani
Okay.
because because Liverpool need a creative midfielder. And
Uh,
we have Naby Keita. Only Naby Keita is there for Liverpool
yeah.
as a creative midfielder who can play as a box to box and midfielder and also dribble. So looking at the stats, Thiago stats, he's the best passer and
Yeah.
also line breaker. So I think Thiago will obviously come to Liverpool, and we have also seen some journalists saying that he has already bought a house in Liverpool and he has his break extended by 1 week,
Yeah.
the holiday as well. So I think
Uh,
it will take time, but eventually it'll get done, I think.
oh, okay. So yeah, I think this is it. I think we missed Ozas a lot today.
Yeah.
It felt really incomplete. So Ozas, you should have joined us for this time. And anything, a shout out to my YouTube. Okay, Rehan is live. So please shout out to Rehan is live. Uh, and Arsenal segment Kodak. Ozas दाइ नभएर स्याड भयो या ओजस दाइ नभएर स्याड भयो केटा मिनामिनो last in Norvus Airport. Sozog actually again Sozog's debut on the pod. He talked about wait so last in yeah he made some really good points in the last Arsenal segment, and I think that was a pretty great debut. And
Isan, you can
and
also announce the website.
yeah, okay, so regarding the thing we're about to I think it will happen in a I think happen hopefully it will
2 days.
happen around next week. Let's hope it will happen around next week. But we're launching our website, thefalse9podcast.com, and we'll let you know when it's launched. But there you can find articles. We'll post weekly articles, and you guys can submit your articles too, and we'll post that. And obviously our podcast will also be there, posted there. And we obviously have our new logo now, and we'll be looking forward to doing new things. And now the football season has started. We'll make sure we keep you entertained and informed about this year's interesting crammed up schedule. We'll keep making podcasts. We'll keep writing articles, and then we'll let you know when the website is out. So yeah, that's the big announcement. Sadly, oh, and for the website, I think I need to give a huge credit to Sozal, who's been my friend Sozal Raj Sotel. He's been working on the website for the past 2 weeks, and he's working really hard. He sleeps late right now. He's working so hard for this website. So I think um, Sozal really needs a huge acknowledgement. And if I say thank you to him on messages, he obviously cringes, but I would like to take this opportunity to thank Sozal for his effort. And yeah, we'll announce, yeah, hashtag announce website. We'll announce the website once it's totally done, but for now we were just announcing that it's going to be released soon, and we have some pretty interesting articles on that. We've been working on a few articles, so yeah. A couple of people are making their article debuts on that website, so yeah, that's something to look forward to. And yeah, I think with this it's 10 o'clock, so I think we should end the stream. And we would like to thank Madhu Acharya, Madhu Vinaja, our podcast producer, for producing this podcast. And yeah, this is Ishan,
This is Susajan.
and thank you. This is our trademark now. So thank you for listening to the False Nine podcast. I hope you had a good time, and I think we discussed a lot of, we covered I think every single team, not every single team, every major team's transfers and stuff. So I hope you guys had a good time. And yeah, that's it.
And also
So
don't forget to like, share, and subscribe False Sign
yeah,
Podcast on
yeah.
every social media platforms.
Yeah, make sure you send it to your friends. We have an Instagram page, we have our Facebook page, we have our Twitter page. So yeah, do make sure you're subscribed to all of them, and obviously subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll be making more podcasts in the future. And yeah, thank you guys for joining us. Especially thank you to Sozog, Shirish, Abbas, Arjan, Rishabh, and Prabuddha, and who has joined us?
Nirav.
Yeah, Agad, Nirav. Yeah, yeah. Thank you guys for joining the podcast. And yeah, I think that's it for today. Good night, everyone. Have a nice weekend and enjoy the Premier League from tomorrow. Wait, I'll